Hi there, welcome and welcome back to the Whole Bucket and a new episode of How Do You Do Art? So, a few things. First, we have changed our hashtag to How Do You Do Art? Because there is too many how do you do's. And now it is working much better, so I highly recommend you give it a try. This is January's How Do You Do Art, and I am very late to my own project. Oh goodness. Okay, so how do you do art? What is it? Quickly, it is a study about how different artists will approach the same supplies. So here we are. This time we are doing a digital kit for our common supply, right? And this is a digital kit by Darcy at Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. That will be in the link in case you want to join in. And if you want to join in, head on over there, get this digital, and the only rule is for you to, in your first video or photo or whatever, make some kind of declaration of what you're going to try to do. The reason for that is we don't want you necessarily, collaborating with anyone else. This is a non-collaboration collaboration. So it's supposed to be your thought process, right? After that, add whatever you want, make whatever you want, tiny project, huge project, 7 projects, it doesn't matter. You do what you want, and you add any supplies that you want to. Any of your own stuff, right? Because it's all about taking this product and what do you do with it? How do you do art? Okay, so quick flip through. It's got basically it's got these 4 designs here, color schemes and flowers, and it does these in some different formats. So let me show you what I mean. These are obviously little postcard sized or journal card sizes of what's coming up, and so is this. So here's a page. So this could be a journal page, right? It's got the middle whited out so that it's got lots of writing space, or whatever, how you do art. Then it's got a flower page with that background. Then it's got a flower page plus a graph page. And I'm not sure, I think this was supposed to be the whole page of color and it failed to print properly. I apologize. So here's the other here's the next background design. A flower and graph, faded, just flower, just design. Next design, same thing, graph, faded, flower. I got some mixed up. Next design, faded, graph, just the background. I got some more mixed up. Faded, feathers instead of flowers, graph, and just the design. So there are 20 or 22 pages. I don't remember. This is a big kit, and it's got all kinds of things you can do with it. I already cut the little frames off these 2 pieces. Oh yeah, and then, oh my goodness, and then I spilled water all over my desk. So this corner and this corner, let's put them in the same direction. This one and this one are all wet and funky looking and whatever. Look, I got water stains. It won't matter. It'll be all right. We're going to do something with 2 straws and 2 pieces of paper. Oh, goodness sakes, man, I tell ya. So, for the pink one, I think. Hang on. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and take my paper flip it over and put a line of glue all the way across. And I'm going to spread it out. Goodness sakes. I am discombobulated, people. Discombobulated. Okay, let's just set that right there. We're also going to do this on the tealish one. I am putting my glue at the soggy end because the damage I have done to these will get covered up because we're going to roll these up. Whee! There we go. All right, we're going to roll them up. I don't know how well this is going to work. How do you do? How do you do art? So, the intent for me and what this project will end up being is a coordinated set of stuff that can later be put in a journal. The reason I decided to do this is because for January, I like to do some restock of bits. It's basically a mass make month for me. And I have been quite unhealthy for a while. Turns out there's a pretty good reason for that, but you know, we'll get into that some other day maybe. But what? Oh, so I'm really behind on my just the bits is what I call it. I'm doing the pieces that go in journals. So I thought I would combine that with how do you do by using this kit to kind of get started. So I'm just rolling my straw up. This one's working. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So far, this is working. I don't know, man. Now all of a sudden it's stopping. Why are you stopping? I'm just going to go till I get past the part I damaged, and then I'm going to glue it and roll it a little further and cut it. Because we're going to do, I having problems talking, can you tell? I didn't plan on this part. I was going to do one part bead, which is what I'm rolling right now, and one part scroll, which I don't know if you've made before. I don't see them made very often, but we're going to make some scroll carriers too. So I'm going to have to get out 2 more straws. That's basically what that amounts to. But I planned on doing 1 sheet paper beads and 1 page scrolls. And now it turns out it doesn't have to be that way. I can make paper beads and scrolls from 1 sheet. I want to let this dry a little bit before I cut it because it's just going to spring right back open, isn't it? Let's see if we can put a clamp on our straw. I can clamp a straw. I'm sure it'll work. See? Just like that. I'll put 2 on. All right, let's set this one aside and roll up this one, and then we'll get 2 more straws out. And then I'll show you what the heck I'm making with this funny straw rolling business. I mean, paper beads aren't new. What I'm trying to do is do it mass make lazy bum style. So if I roll up a whole straw of paper bead, can I then use a blade and cut it into whatever size beads I want. I would think you can, but the question I guess will be, will it squish the bead too much and make it ugly and stupid? Because we don't want ugly, stupid beads. There will be no ugly, stupid beads. This one really just did not stay rolled tight. All right, let me get 2 clamps for this one. And we'll do the same thing. There we go. See, that one's already getting wonky. Don't wonky. No wonkying. All right, 2 more straws. Why are you breaking? That is unallowed. Unallowed. Okay. All right, let's see what's happening in the pink department. And we should have our ruler. Put it right up there, I guess. Get our little blade. Not too shabby, man. Not too shabby. This is gonna have to be further glued though, for sure. We need it all the way to the edge. And I don't know how to make that stay. I guess I could cave and get one of those faster grabbing glues, couldn't I? This one's not all that fast. But I like this one, and it's not as expensive, and I change my mind a lot. I don't like fast grabbing glues. I don't like fast grabbing glues because I make too many mistakes. But in this instance, it sure would be handy. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on and set that aside, and let's get out 2 more, I guess. Wow, where did they all go? And do this again. This time we only need to go around 1 complete turn. I mean, if we go over it, it doesn't hurt, right? But we don't need a big fat one because we're not doing a bead kind of situation. In fact, in this case, we don't want a big fat roll of paper. We want it to stay fairly straw size. Okay, let's let that sit for a sec while we cut this one. Yikes. Okay, now we're gonna get this little, oh my goodness, my glue is oozing. I chopped the tip off this bottle and made it really fat because the bottle's almost empty and I needed a lot of glue, and I thought I was gonna finish it off, but I didn't. Now I've got this not really crafting friendly situation, but you know, it's almost empty. It won't be very long and I can get rid of that one. Yikes. Yeah, that was way too much. It's all over the place. I do like this about this glue, that if it's still wet, I can just roll it off. I can roll it off my hands, and then I can also roll it off whatever I'm working on. See it, I don't know, let me look. Yeah, the camera's showing that. So see it beading up there, and that will just roll right off eventually. In this case, I've got a lot of glue, so there's a lot to roll off, but it's very nice, very handy. Okay, there is our bead roll for blue, and actually that one is sticking very nice. I'm not going to worry about clamping it again. And if that's the case, maybe this one is too, and I can unclamp it so it stays tube-like. I got a wrinkle. We don't want a wrinkle. No. All right, wrinkles aren't the worst. We'll leave it. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and roll this one up. And remember, we're just doing one layer or so. It has to be complete, but it doesn't matter if it goes a little over. Okay, just like so. I got little beads of glue stuck all over my hands. Yuck. All right, we could have done a lot of straws with this one. I didn't realize how many straws could be covered by one sheet of paper. I guess I never counted before. Please excuse Malik while he walks straight through what we're working on. Move it, mister. Keep walking. All right, clamp this down for just a minute. These clamps have little divots, so I'm not doing too much damage to the straws. But I sure don't want to squish them. Okay. All right, let that sit and cut this one. I think you're getting the picture of how this part of this project works. I'm going to try to squish way in there. And all I did was manage to unroll my straw. No good. No good. Okay, I'm going to have to get a little bit of glue in that little crevice. Oh my. I do have little tiny squeeze bottles, but they just don't work for glue. The ones I have anyway. Do not. The glue just gets terribly stuck in them. So I believe I got the wrong kind. That's what that amounts to. Doesn't surprise me. Sounds like something I would do. Instead of like a tapered tip, they just have a really long needle thin tip, which might not be bad for all glues, but I have had no luck whatsoever. And then they just get clogged, and to keep them unclogged, you got to put that little needle in, and I'm terrible at putting the little needle in because I forget, and then I can't aim properly, and I can't see it properly. I don't... It's all kind of comical watching me fight with those little squeezy glue bottles. Okay, there we go. That one's nice though. success again. So I'm going to try this a little differently this time and see if we can just trim first and then glue, because wouldn't that then make it glue all the way to the end right from the beginning? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see where it needs to go to. Okay. I'm going to trim it right at this line right here. This should be enough, plus a tiny bit. I don't know. And then, can I just get the glue all the way to this edge? Spread out that globby part. Okay, here we go. All right, I'll just hold it like that for a sec. So this is actually now the last thing we're going to do, because we need these straws to sit and dry for a while. Oh, look, big line of glue across my table. So what will we move on to? Well, I will show you. I will show you after I get the glue off my desk. Okay, I have crowded my desk with a bunch of stuff, so we may continue. I did not realize that Mr. Malik had knocked my camera over, so let's fix that. The first thing I'm going to do is so stupid easy that I didn't even bother to prep anything ahead of time. So one thing that you can obviously do with these is make journal pages. And one of the things on my January to-do list is to make partial signatures. I think this would look amazing with torn edges, and I don't have a good torn edge ruler, and if I tore this by hand completely, it would end up stupid amounts of wonky. So I'm going to do this with my cork backed ruler with the cork facing down. Typically, I would turn this over so the cork was up so that the metal part of the ruler was straight to the paper. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but it does get a little bit fuzzier of a tear if it's got that space between the ruler and the tearing. If it's got that little bit of space between that ruler and where it holds the paper, because the cork is just ever so slightly inset from the metal. See? That means that the paper pulls up a little before it starts tearing, so you get a little bit more fuzzy of a torn edge than you would if you cut straight on the metal. Not a ton, not like a decal edge, right? But a little bit of fuzziness, and that's what I really want, is some fuzziness. And I should have folded this the other direction, and that was a bit silly of me, so we'll do it on the other one, but hopefully this will turn out anyway, and I'll show you why I have chosen to do the torn edges on these pages in just a sec here. I wonder. All right, yeah, I think I'm tearing off too much to get the effect I wanted. But we'll see in 2 more tears. 1, 2. Here we go. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, no, it turned out fairly accurate of what I was looking for. So I thought, because this page already had kind of a frame and had this lighter area, that it would come out kind of already edged. I mean, I still ink every edge, but watch. It's already pretty edged. Goodness sakes, this is bright. And this is saturated color. Yikes. It was on the clearance rack. Don't you just love the clearance rack? Yep, just tiny bits of it showing up along the edge. I love that. Okay, so now I have a multi-layered frame of this writing page. Obviously, this side needs some stuff, but that's to do later when I decide what journal this page will go into. Yeah, it will be decorated according to whatever it's going into. That's all I was saying. So if I fold it this way, it turned out fine, right? But if I fold it this way, I can watch what the heck I'm doing and make sure I actually get the border I want to get. And I think I'm going to tear it the opposite way I did last time, putting my ruler on the smaller bit. And I'm not very good at folding today, apparently. Come on, straighten out. There we go. Well, that didn't change much of anything. Okay, anyway, anywho, let's see if we can get this on a nice line and cork side down for this effect. And that looks like a nice edge. Let's see. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Happy with that. Let's try right there. And right there. One more. One more. So, there we go. We got signature pages. And let's see if this is also appropriate, because I pulled out this burgundy sort of brown. So yeah, burgundy brown, and that's exactly what it is. You know. Oh, okay, throw ink everywhere. This one is not as bright, or it doesn't have as much ink in it either. And there's no such thing as refilling. Like when I get these on clearance, or this is from one of the, you know, super cheapy places, I don't replace them. I just use them till they're dead, and I'll wait till the next color comes up, which is a little bit weird because, you know, I do have some favorite colors, but when I do a lot of the stuff I do with inks is really just best left to neutrals, and I can just collect whatever color fancies me at the time. Another signature page, and it can be worked on later. So what's next then? Well, this is next. I cut out a couple of the journaling card thingy jobbers, and we can just chop them out. The smaller one here had a border. This is the bigger one. These didn't have borders on them, but I didn't want the border anyway. So I'm just going to chop these to the same size, since the just background one can be any size, right? It doesn't even matter what you do with it, which is super nice to have a piece that's so flexible. That is not a straight line, lady. All right, well, we got some wonkiness. I don't think I've ever made anything without some wonkiness. There we go. Get rid of that. I'm going to take a sliver off the bottom. Oh, that's what I love about my guillotine chopper. That ability to get that tiny, tiny sliver bit. Okay. So we've got 2 cards, one with flowers and one with nothing. I'm going to round the corners with my very favoriteest big fat giant paper rounder, corner rounder I mean. And we will ink the edges of these also, because that's what we do. Okay, that's what I do. And we'll just do it super quick. Super quick. 1, 2, 3. All I'm doing is getting rid of the cut edge, right? I'm not doing anything fancy here. Nothing fancy. Just getting that cut edge, making it look like a finished product. And then we have 1 card over there. And another card over there. So the pages weren't done. They have a whole white side that needs something. We can't be having white pages. Don't know why. You know, whatever. Our brains. And now we have postcards that also need finishing. So already tea-dye paper backed. Fabulous. But can certainly add more to this. Another layer of flowers, a sentiment, a whole focal point. This could all be background, and it could go this way or this way. Could it go that way? Could it go this way? This way's okay. I don't like this way much. But yeah, lots of different ways. And the other one, I mean, it's a blank canvas. You could leave it the way it is because this marbling is lovely. But what? But this would be good for, yeah, anything. Anything at all. Next. So I took the tall paper, or the whole page papers like this, right? Flowers. And this would normally be folded in half if you wanted to put it in a signature, but I cut it this way. And I'm not really sure which way I want to fold this. I think I want to fold the flowered end first. So the flower end will be made in a triangle kind of thing right here. You want to get those, you want to get it centered, and you want to get these bottoms lined up as much as you can. And then fold it, right? And then this is going to be a flip down. Oh, that turned out nice. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, and then this, whoops, flips up. And the question is, do I want it this big, or do I want to fold it more than once? I think therefore I am. I think I'm going to fold a little pocket in here. So maybe there's a little surprise tucked in there. And then fold it up, and you just have to be a little bit past this, like where the V meets the edge, right? You just have to be a little bit past that. Gosh darn it, just glue and paper and kitty fur stuck to me everywhere. I can see I need to trim the edges on this too. It's not cut completely straight. I'm not sure why, because I did it on a paper trimmer. But it's a tad wonky. Let's fix it. Let's fix the tad wonkiness. I actually should have showed you what the heck I'm talking about before I did this. So let's see if you can see that. Just barely. I mean, can you see that there's a little bit of white sticking out there? If I hold it like this, of course you can, but then you're looking into the envelope. But there you go. Now you can see it. So I want that trimmed off. And there's nothing fancy here, nothing you're going to wreck. So you can just barely trim it like that. Now we have an insert. So discovered that folding the flower end is the way to go. So here's the flower end. I'm going to fold it in half, but not crease it all the way, right? So I'm just going to make sure that the corners meet up. And the top is even Steven. And I'm going to crease a little bit. That's only so I can see that my initial folds are straight. So there's the center. And I did a little bit of a line. Here, let's see if we can make that visible. It's really little. Oh, it's coming though. There it is. Okay, so now see that darkest part right there? That's all I folded. But now I can see that my V is on that line and follows it. So it's as straight as I can get it. It's not going to be perfect because there is no such thing as perfect. And I am good at wonky. But it's going to be close. It's going to be all right. Let's see how this one turned out. Whoa. Not too shabby. I think I folded that one down farther than I want, though. I think I want it more like this. Fold the top down. And then I guess I liked that idea, so I'm going to make a little pocket down here in case you want to put some goodies in and have it be a surprise in this envelope. And then again, you can put, you can put this almost to the top. You don't want it all the way to the top because it will impede the proper envelope closure. But you can put it way close, or you can pull it down as far as that little point right there. If you pull it down too far, then you just get, you get this. You don't want that. Up there. And even. Boy, this one's worse than the other one was. Isn't that what Dorothy said about the witches? Oh, no, that's what the good witch said about the bad witches. This one's worse than the other one. Okay, so let's chop off the wonky side, because I don't know how it's worse. It's the same piece of paper. I mean, all I did was chop it down the middle. How can one side be any worse than the other? You think if they were off kilter, they'd at least be off kilter the same amount. Okay, 2 envelopes, 2 more to go. Let's go ahead and do the flower end of this one. Same method. Same method. Get yourself a crease so you can get that point proper. That's the only tricky part to this envelope, is getting that point straight. And see, I didn't do it. Gosh darn it. I had a buckle and some white space in there, and I don't want it. If you pull this down tight enough on the line that you made for yourself, that's not a problem. Okay, wait, I don't like that. I don't like that. That cuts off too much. So I think we're gonna make a bigger fold this time. Ooh, getting daring. All right, I'm gonna pull this down. Wow, all the way to here, I think. There we go. And then maybe this one doesn't get a pocket, because maybe this one can fold way up. Sure can. All right. Just like so. Beautiful. Last one. This one has a little bit of flower stuff right there, but that's not going to make for a good flap. We're going to try it anyway, just to see what it does. I think it's going to do a big fat nothing, because I think it's going to get folded right out. But that's good information. It's good to know if that gets folded, if it shows up at all. If it does show up, how does it look? Having just a little bit of design like that. We are about to find out, man. Okay. There we go. So there's part of it. It doesn't look bad. But it doesn't look great either. It makes it look like something's cut off. You know why? Because it is. And what about this side? This side, it looks ridiculous because that looks like something got cut off, because it did. I don't think I'm going to stress it. I think I'm going to fold this, make it an envelope, and worry about it when this goes in a journal, because I can cover it up. I can add more things. I can make it look like it's supposed to be that way, right? We're not putting a pocket on this one either. Just going to fold it up. So now we have 2 envelopes for each set of stuff we're making. I didn't have another piece of teal, so this was that misprint piece, and I thought what I would do is try to make something along the lines of a coin envelope. And I'm just going to do a little experiment quick. So I'm going to fold it like that, and I guess like so. This part would be in the middle of the finished product is what I'm looking for, and I think that's pretty close, right? So this line right here, this paper edge, is in the middle of this. That's, I mean, that's a little off. This side looks wider than this side. I'm not going to stress it. Then I'm going to open it up and do a small fold up. Small fold up and a larger fold down. Now I have to think about this for a sec. Is this even right? It is. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to fold up this bottom. Not fold, I'm just going to bend. Bend this bottom. And then I'm going to cut a bit. I don't know if I'm doing this right, so don't copy me unless this turns out okay. So I'm going to just go over to the very edge and cut a curve to the fold line, and then down to the corner of the 2 folds. and then ever so slightly on the inside of that line. The idea here is that now I've made a curved fold up to close the bottom of the envelope, and oh, look what a mess I made over here. That is terrible. I forgot that one side was wider than the other. You big dummy. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Anyways, the reason I did this inside the line was to hopefully get this this fold to not get impinged. But since I failed to do that properly. It's not working out great. Okay, hang on. I think we can fix this though. What if I just move this fold over to its new spot? What if I just do that? Now I have a proper corner again. And I just need to trim this so things will fold properly. Just trim it by a hair. There we go. Okay. So, there we go. And I suppose now I should be able to do it on the top without a problem, right? So I will match up the bottom cut, and I will do the exact same thing and see what happens. Oh my. So I'm going to go way up here to the top-ish and a little bit to the inside and cut a curved line to the proper fold mark. Then down to the corner the folds meet at, and then in a little bit. All right, let's see if that one worked. So now, if I close this one and then this one, whoops, this one, good grief. And then I'll seal the envelope down here. Then it has a flap to open. Good. So trim this because it's got a crease I don't want, or it's got a thing I don't want. And one more cut. So I want this to be curved so you can get whatever's in this envelope out better. So I'm going to join up these two folds, which this is going to end up not correct. So for sure don't follow this because I already know that this doesn't work. Why are you doing it then? Well, you know, it's me. So I'm going to snip down just a tiny bit to get myself a place to start. And then and then there we go. I got in there. I'm just going to curve down. And the reason I know this isn't going to work is because now I have a nice line that a nice curve that lines up, but these folds aren't exactly proper. So it's going to give me this little V kind of thing. I'd rather have a curve that joins up properly, but it doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm not even being silly. This little V kind of divot is just fine. I do want it deeper though. I want a deeper divot because I like when it's easy to get stuff out of the envelope. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Does it close nice? Yep, still closes just fine. So, let's get this thing closed up. I could certainly pick one of the teal papers and make this sort of envelope out of it if I was, you know, super happy with this. So the teal set that I am making does not have to be short one envelope. And then this one. Okay. So then we have an envelope, and I'm not going to do anything with these except show you. These would get glued to some kind of backing paper, probably tea-dyed, and go in as journaling cards. They can go in pockets and tuck spots and be turned into all kinds of stuff. So those are ready to go. We have these spare pieces for just about anything. And then let's get to these. Let's get to the exciting part. This is what I'm waiting for, man. Okay, so let's see if this is even going to work, because it does have a couple issues that might make this a fail right off the get-go. Where is my box cutter? I know you took it. Where'd you put it? Did you borrow my box cutter? Oh my gosh. We are running out of time, as usual. As per usual for me, right guys? So we have 9 minutes left. So I guess I'm not going to worry about where the proper cutter is. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. This is the pink colors of the bead. So, cut that like that. Oh, I am missing another thing. Okay, hang on. Okay, that was easy peasy. So, I have some eyelets. And we will, nope, you know what, it's better if they match. I guess they don't have to, but it is, in my book, it's better if they match. And then I'm going to put an eyelet right in there. But first, I can see that I am going to want to just put this cut edge in some color. Again, this is personal preference. Do what you want to do. But I could totally see white paper and cut edge, and this will just kind of mask that. Then I'm going to put a chunk of glue right there at the end and slip this inside the straw. Now, since that one worked so nice, I'm kind of thinking this might work after all. But here's the thing. If you make a full straw of paper bead, you can cut this any length you want for your paper beads, right? So I think I'll try down to here. You really wish I didn't hide my other knife, because it would definitely work better than this. A scissors wouldn't work great because that would just squish the thing, right? Again, with the color on the end, just to mask that. Some glue globbered on the end of this paper. There we go. And oh no, there we go. Oh, just a little fiddling and it popped right back into shape. I didn't make the roll of paper is not thick enough, so I have a tiny bit of eyelet edge sticking out. You can hardly even tell, really, but maybe I did just want to do a whole page. Okay, there's a paper bead anyway. Now, to show you the other thingy I'm making, we need a clean edge. So let's start with a clean edge. And then we need to measure the scroll. That's what we need to do. So this thing should get cut right about here. Ha! There we go. All right, so this, you might not realize it at the moment, is a scroll holder. Because I love scrolls. Because I think they're cool and magical and stuff. Okay, so cut edges again. Again, it's what I do. It's my choice. You don't have to. Then, we don't need this yet, but we do need this right here. And there it is. This right here. When I first learned how to do this, it was from G. Kerr at Happiness in Crafting, and she did some of the cutest little flower scroll holder thingies, and she used wire for the part that I'm going to use the floss for, and you can use any fabric. And then she put little flowers on them and other little decorations. And the wire that she used made it so that you could hang these from a bulb pin or a paper clip or anything. But I use them the same way, but I found that I can do the same thing with just about anything. So I bet you can too. And I bet she can too. You can use thread for this, for the topper, what I'm going to show you right now. And you can use any fabrics, and you can use, I forgot what else I was going to say. I had another thing. Okay, so this is a little awkward. I'm just, as you can tell, trying to get fuzzy edges. I want fuzzy edges all around this thing. There we go. We have fuzziness. We have achieved fuzziness. Okay, so then you take this thingy, right? And this should actually be a longer piece, or you layer pieces. So you know what? We're gonna layer this. I have a pink over here too, which isn't really in the teal, but whatever. I want to show you layers. So there we go. Okay, get rid of that. And we just need a chunk. And I want fuzziness, but only at one end is necessary. So I will fuzzy that up. And here's what you do. Okay. You find a piece of fabric or gauze or cheesecloth. Colored cheesecloth is awesome for this. In fact, I have a whole bunch of them in my box covered in cheesecloth. And you put a fabric circle around this. So I'm going to cover this completely in this one because I want the bottom to be closed so the scroll doesn't fall out, right? That's why you want to put a bottom on it. So now I could put, I'm just going to put glue in there, right? Because it's extra help, but I also sometimes just tie it shut, which I still might do with this one. It doesn't hurt to have more than one kind of thing holding it closed. But you want this squished in any case, squished and closed. See? Squished and closed on the bottom. Now, why do you want to layer it? You don't have to. You don't have to, but watch this. This is why I want to, because I think, personally, I think this looks fabulous. I'm just going to hold this end out, wrap this around, and tie it in a, I'm maybe going to tie this. I didn't leave myself a ton of room here, did I? No, I did not. Okay, I can do this. I swear I can. Oh, and I'm over my hour. Good grief, man. I'm not going to learn how to edit. I'm just not. I'm not. So we're over an hour today. But I do want you to see how these look. So there we go. Okay, there we go. So I would typically tie that in a knot and then maybe also glue it. And then this. So a couple of things with this. Number one, okay, this is going to be a little bit of overkill on this puppy because I want to show you all the different things, and I'm going to show you all the things in one scroll keeper. Kind of silly. Kind of silly. Okay, hold on to the string. Wrap it around the end that you need shut. Tie it. Whee! Twine would work. Twine would be fun. I have done this in leather cording. I'll tell you, that's a pain in the rump roast because these are tiny and leather cording is bulky. But if you can get it to work, it sure looks cool. Okay. There we go. Then I'll tie that in a knot. Trim those bits. And then the other thing that I usually do, and I'm going to get a longer string, I guess, because I don't want it to take me quite as long as things are taking me today. I will take the end of this and tie a loop in a knot. So this is the part that Kerri did with wire, right? So you can hang it from a bulb pin or anything else and put a jump ring on it and put a little chain on it. And gosh, it's so cute. You can do the exact same thing with just string. So there's my little loop and I can hang anything from that. It is worth the time and the effort to do the chain part. But I'm just saying, if you don't have it, if you don't have metal wire and you just, or you can't work with it maybe, I mean, all kinds of people have different things, right? But use what you have is the point, right? And you can still create these. So there's my little dangle bit, and then twist this around a bunch of times, just like we did on the bottom. And then tie another knot. And, oh, jeez, my hands are just not functioning today, are they? There we go. There we go. And there we go. And if you put tiny dots of glue in these knots and what have you, they're not coming out. You're good. You're good. There we go. Trim this. I like to fray it so it's not, you know, so it looks like a tassel instead of just hanging string. And then I might add beads or flowers or whatever is appropriate to the journal that this ends up in. Let's trim those two too. They're too long. And we will trim this also. And I would fray all of this so all of it looks all of it looks like a frayed mess. Okay, I am going to pause again. I'll be right back and we'll look at what we did. Okay, while I am laying some stuff out, please remember that if you want to participate in How Do You Do Art, hop over to Darcy's Ko-Fi and grab this. Make some social media post of some sort declaring what this DigiKit looks like to you. Like what does it look like it should be? And then just start making. Show us what you've got. And then also, if you, whether you do or don't want to participate, make sure that you go and check out all the other artists that are participating, and make sure that if you do participate, put the hashtag in so we can see your art. I want to see what you guys are up to, or what everybody's ideas might be, because the whole idea is that we get inspiration from each other, learn from each other, right? Okay, so here's what we ended up with in our make today. Good grief. So imagine I'm making a journal, right? And I need some stuff to put in it. I have a whole suite of things that can now go in a journal. So let's set this one aside for a sec and pull this one over here. Now take a look at this. I've got a dangle on this, right? It's just a dragonfly. Don't say just. Dragonflies are wonderful. But now what if I take the scroll holder? Oh. Okay, I'll be right back. Hang on again. I forgot to do one of the most important things. Okay, now we have our little scroll dangle hanging, but let's take a look at the rest. So I have a paper bead. I think I'm going to put some high gloss finish on this, or maybe emboss it. I'm not sure. Either way, it will be shiny and bead-like. Then what have we got? We have this. This is my Show How Stuff Works and journal. It's not real. It's my pretend you're a journal thing. So we have an envelope that can be glued down on 3 sides, can be a pocket or a tuck spot if you leave, 2 sides open, and it flips open and open for writing space. And I made some with a little pocket on the bottom so that we can sneak another little card or message or something in there. And then we ended up with 2 of them, so we could put one in the same journal later, or just have a different set, right? Oh, look how pretty that looks on this paper. Okay. Then we have an addition to a signature. So what if this was in here? I'm sorry this video is taking so long. I've been working really hard to stay under an hour, and now, we're just hanging out for ages and ages, apparently. Someday, maybe I'll get it. Okay, so what if this was on here and had a shorter card in it and opened for writing? Very nice. And then what if this card was, just completely somewhere else? What if it was on this end of the deal, or over here on this end, or on any of these pages, really? I think I'm being too fussy now. So the idea is that now I have a whole suite of stuff that can go in a journal that contains any of those teal colors, and I can accentuate all the things, and it will all meld, right? And then I have the little scroll keeper. This is the one with the string for its beading. Instead of a jump ring, right? Instead of metal and wire, it's just got thread. And then it's got a little scroll in it. Look at that. Watch. I love little scrolls. Watch. How do you do art? Because of course course that's the message that's going to be in there, right? Because of course it is. In the journals, it would maybe have a message. Maybe that's the, message to your customer or the person you've gifted it to or what have you. But it might also just be blank. So whoever owns the journal that you create can then put their own little message on a mini scroll and put it in a little missive tube to be delivered, and the bead and the whole other set. And we got lots of leftovers. Like, look at all the tubes we have left over to make scrolls and beads and what have you. And look at all the pages we have left to make more coordinating bits and bobs. So stay tuned for more How Do You Do, and join in, because we're having a lot of fun learning how other people think and work. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.